Hi guys, this is Mizuki.Arts. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm doing a little video answering my most frequently asked question, which is how do I draw so often and so quickly? This is a question I get a lot, especially on places like Instagram, where I'm posting pretty much daily. Just a little plug for that. But anyways, here's some tips I've compiled. But before we get started, please note that these tips are simply what have worked for me and may work for you, but in the end you will have to kind of explore different habits and I guess living styles to figure out how you can draw the most and stay inspired for long periods while you're, at the grind with drawing. It's also worth noting that just because you're drawing quickly and drawing every day doesn't mean your art will get better at a faster rate. There's certainly a difference in quality. If you start to rush things, you'll know you're in burnout quite quickly because the quality in your art will drop super fast, and it's important at this time to recognize when you need breaks with it. But anyway, let's get into the tips. Tip number 1, make drawing accessible for you. This is kind of a big deal. It made a big difference for me personally, and one of the best ways you can accomplish this tip is by carrying your sketchbook with you. Take it with you to work, take it with you to school, or wherever you go on a daily basis, just in case you have some ideas and you want to start jotting them down. This doesn't mean you have to carry a full set of paints on you at all times, of course, but a pencil and a sketchbook can make a huge difference because maybe you can start something, or maybe you can just find some cool ideas organically. This tip, of course, was kind of light and simple, but the next one becomes a little more complicated. Tip number 2. Have a dedicated time and space for drawing. This doesn't mean you need a whole separate room to draw in, because obviously this would make things very difficult for anybody that is not a professional studio artist. But working in your room is a very common thing for artists because it's the place we're most comfortable, I think. But you shouldn't work on your bed, not only because a soft surface like that is hard to kind of keep a proper posture on while you're drawing. It's also a place where you might scroll through your phone and do video games and other things along those lines, and having a space dedicated to work can make a difference and help your mindset be set towards drawing. So I recommend, if you have a desk, maybe set aside a corner on that desk for where you choose to draw. Or if you don't have a desk in your room, you can always sit at the end of your bed or leaning your back against the bed while you're sitting on the floor. This can just kind of help you keep a mindset towards drawing instead of focusing on the other things in your environment. Another tip for this would be to make it a goal to draw for at least 15 minutes a day. You can just start drawing and say, okay, if I still don't want to finish this drawing in 15 minutes, I can just call it a day and take a break. But in that 15 minutes, you should get as much done as you possibly can. And the best way to really start a drawing when you don't know what to draw is just draw a circle. Really, that's all it takes. Because, honestly, pretty much everything starts with a circle. If you want to draw a face, you have to draw a circle. If you want to draw a bike or a car or anything like that, you're going to need a circle. And that can just help to get rid of some of the fear of ruining a sketchbook page by just drawing in a circle. And maybe it'll be less intimidating at that point. Another idea is to give yourself an accountability partner. This doesn't necessarily have to be someone that's literally sitting there telling you to draw. Sometimes if I'm feeling like I don't want to draw at all, but I also do, I will bring my sketchbook with me to a place where I know there are going to be other people, and I will sit down and start drawing. And I know that if I stop and just stare off into space, people are going to notice, and it's going to be weird that I look like I'm supposed to be working, but I'm not. And that's kind of weird, but it works well for me, and I get a lot more done on those days when I don't want to do anything. And a way you can replicate this in case your workspace is somewhere solitary, you can actually put on a Twitch stream or like a YouTube video, anything that makes you feel like there's someone there. I wouldn't put on anything that's too visually heavy or something you would watch in your downtime. So for me, I would probably put on a more, I guess, live drawn kind of art channel, because I usually watch a lot of speed paints and things like that in my free time. But if I'm working on a drawing, then I want something that gives me the feel of someone being there without someone actually being there, and something I wouldn't want to like look up at every 2 seconds. Tip number 3 is to figure out what it is you want to draw. If you have time before you, I guess, are able to draw, like maybe you're on a car ride or something and you don't have your sketchbook with you, make it a mission to figure out what it is you want to draw. Just brainstorm, just let your mind wander. You'll eventually figure something out, and it's really important to dedicate time to this, because a lot of times those ideas can come to you rather quickly, which is always shocking, because on those days when I have no ideas, sometimes I come up with the best ones. Some add-ons might be to scroll through Pinterest for a couple of minutes, just looking for things that you might like to draw. If you're inspired by fashion, like I am, look at a lot of different fashion ideas or character designs or whatever sparks your interest. And of course, another idea would be warm-up doodles. Like, warm-up doodles make a big difference. You can do these in the margins of your notebooks or on sticky notes. You know, anything that I guess isn't like a paper that needs to be neat, you can doodle on, and that can really make a big difference in how your drawings go later on. Tip number 4, and this one's the final one and kind of the mushy one, and this is to know that your drawings don't have to be perfect. Like, they don't have to be the most inspiring masterpiece of all time. Like, you're going to have to make like dozens and dozens of failures before you make a masterpiece, and dozens of masterpieces before you've reached your peak in art. And that is what I learned recently, especially during this drawing process, because I had a hard time that day and I just wanted to draw something that made me happy, even if I didn't necessarily feel like getting out my pens that day. As always, progress is the goal, not perfection. I guess I'm living that every day, where it's like I can never get things perfect, but I have to try my best because I love art, and I know you guys love art too. So just keep doing your best, because I know you guys are amazing. And some days you might be unhappy with the product you come out with. Like, you might be unhappy with what you draw today, but that just means you'll be that much better tomorrow. And you can just keep going. And I know it's a little mushy, it's a little corny, and especially coming from someone who has who's very amateur. I'm very amateur, but it is what it is, and I think it needs to be said more often, honestly, that art is a long-term thing, and it's okay to make progress. So, yeah, that is it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. It's a little bit different, and I hope it didn't come off too tutorial-like, even though I'm certainly addressing it as if it were a tutorial, simply because it's a question I get asked so often. I really hope this helps you guys. It's certainly been helping me, I guess. All these tips have really been helping me because I'm trying to complete Mermaid, or at least half of Mermaid, so we'll see how that goes. But thank you so much for watching. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and have a wonderful day.